Zimbabwe police have launched a crackdown against drug abuse, smuggling, and trafficking, which health authorities say is rising and seriously wrecking the lives of the country's youth population. What is the size of the population in terms of drug and substance abusers? The Zimbabwe authorities did not publish any figures ahead of the crackdown launched in the capital city on February the 3rd. But drug rehabilitation centers are full and unable to cope with rising demand to accommodate new patients. The centers are estimated to be holding or treating about 5,000 people at any time, with tens of thousands others either not coming forward or getting any assistance. Zimbabwe has a dozen plus big institutions providing drug and substance abuse rehabilitation services, largely a reflection of how recent the crisis is for the country. With the rising problem, some private medical and voluntary organizations are now also offering services. But the number of these new service providers is hard to pin down. What about the smugglers and dealers? The latest police campaign against abusers, smugglers, and traffickers shows that drugs are being pushed across the country, but mostly in urban districts in both small-scale and industrial quantities by petty traders and organized criminal syndicates. Where are the drugs coming from? The drugs are being smuggled into the country from abroad, but mostly through Zimbabwe's land borders with Mozambique and South Africa, which are also facing drug trafficking problems. Authorities say some small amounts of illicit drugs, concoctions, and alcohol are also manufactured in townships in Zimbabwe's major towns like Harare, Bulawayo, Gweru, and Mutare. Who is mostly doing drugs? According to World Health Organization 2019 report, Zimbabwe has the highest rate of 15 to 19-year-olds engaging in heavy episodic drinking in Africa, with 70.7% of males and 55.5% of females participating. Unfortunately, this age group is also heavily involved in drug dealing and use. How do drugs work? Drugs are essentially poisons, and the amount taken determines the effect. A small amount can act as a stimulant, whilst a greater amount can act as a sedative. If taken in excessive amounts, drugs can be fatal. Many drugs tend to distort a user's perception of reality, leading to irrational and destructive behavior. Medical experts say drugs block off both desirable and undesirable sensations, providing short-term relief from pain, but also wiping out alertness and muddying one's thinking. What are the commonly used drugs and substances in Zimbabwe? Commonly used substances in Zimbabwe include codeine, crystal meth, commonly known as meth, motoriro, chalk, ice, crank, guka, glue, bronclair, solvents, fembo, and genkem. Maragado, mangemba, cane spirit, cocaine, cannabis or marijuana, which mostly is abused or traded under a variety of street names such as mbanje, ganja, dope, weed, blunt, grass, pot, boom, spliff, Mary Jane, skunk, or kif. What are the causes of the rise in drug and substance abuse? According to drugfreeworld.org, many young people take drugs for a number of reasons, including fit in or for entertainment, escape reality or relax, relieve boredom, rebel, or experiment. What are the implications of drug and substance abuse? The Ministry of Health and Childcare has identified certain substances as major contributors to risky sexual behavior, cardiovascular, and neurological disorders. Substance abuse can lead to a range of short and long-term psychiatric complications such as addictions, stress, depression, anxiety, suicide, and even psychosis. This addiction can even have devastating impacts on communities, resulting in increased violence, robberies, unemployment, and the need for more rehabilitation centers. What does the law say about drug and substance abuse? Drug abuse is illegal under Zimbabwean laws and punishable by fine or prison terms and a drug rehabilitation program. Where can drug addicts get help in Zimbabwe? You can get help on these numbers below.